All right, so now the next man to avoid dating is Mr. All Talk, No Action. So let's start here, because I think we can all agree actions speak louder than words. However, let me make clear, when it comes to relationships, dating, actions and words need to both be there. When you really think about it, having one without the other will typically cause a problem or speaks to some kind of lie, inconsistency. Something's an issue when we don't have the words and the actions lining up together, right? But let's get back to this idea of all talk, no action. So before we even focus in on the actions he's giving you in the relationship, I want you to pay attention to how this man talks and moves in his general life. All right? One thing I can say is, in my years of living, I've met a lot of men who talk a great game and don't do a damn thing. All right? They got big dreams and they want to do this and that and whatever, and nothing. And my thing is this, I'm not talking about the man who has these ideas or talks his talk and then he puts a real effort, but it doesn't work out. I can excuse that because, things aren't going to always work out the way that we want to, but at least the man backs up his words and tries to make something happen. No, I'm talking about the man who's all this talk, weeks later, like I got this huge business plan idea, months later, no business plan. Months later, no progress with the situation, okay? And so when you start to see that this is how he is in his life, please understand it's gonna pour over into the relationship. It's gonna pour over into the dating experience with you. Don't think, again, a lot of these things that we see in people speak to the character. So we can't think that, they'll be like this out in the world, but with me, it's going to be different. No, they just haven't shown you yet, possibly, but it's going to rear its ugly head. And when it does, it's going to cause tons of problems. But now let's talk about when it starts to show in the dating process with this man. Again, it's one thing for a man to not know what it is you're looking for. For a man to simply lack the understanding of what he needs to do to pour into you. But when that discussion is had and that man says, okay, I understand, I got it, and then does nothing, stop making excuses for him. Stop rationalizing past it. Stop thinking it just needs more time. No, he's just not it. He's just not that guy. Or he is not at a place where he is mature enough and ready to do his part to be the man that you need. Either way, you've got to let him go. Because here's a big problem with dating or being with a man who's all talk, no action. If he sees that you don't hold him accountable for taking no action, the talk will never stop and the action will never come. Because now he knows he can just whisper sweet nothings in your ear to tell you what you want to hear, make you feel good with what he says, but you aren't going to hold him to actually having to do anything. And so it becomes this game of, let me just calm her down in the moment. Let me just tell her what she wants to hear in the moment. And then when the smoke clears, it's the same old, same old. So you've got to ask yourself, are you enabling this behavior? This also is hitting my spirit, so let me say this. Make sure, anything I say in this video, there's a lot of things that can apply to yourself. And you want to make sure you're not being this same type of person that we're describing with these men. But specifically what I want to highlight here is, don't be Mrs. All Talk, No Action when it comes to specifically telling that man, if you do this again, I'm gone. And then when he does it again, you ain't going nowhere. All right? You don't hold true to your words and your threats. Now listen, it's not me saying you should be throwing threats. What I am saying though is, if you keep throwing out threats and claims of, well, I'm not going to accept this and so on and so forth, and then you don't back it up, you start to lose that man's respect. he starts to think I can take advantage of you. He doesn't take you serious anymore. All right. And so now you don't say it if you don't mean it. Don't say it if you ain't going to back it up. All right. I would rather you hold it back and ask yourself, if I am not willing to do what I claim I would do, why not? Why not? And why am I trying to say it if I'm not going to do it? Because a lot of times you're hoping that the threat itself will get him to tighten up. And then it doesn't. And there's a quote I like to use. I say, if your absence wouldn't motivate him to get better, then your presence never will. Meaning, if at that point, if walking away from him doesn't improve it, staying with him wasn't going to change anything. So thinking that you can just stay and it'll eventually get better, that's such a horrible approach. You know what I'm saying? Either he's willing to do his part or he's not. So anyways, to wrap this point up, pay attention to his overall life. Hold him accountable when he doesn't back up his words of actions with you, and make sure you're not doing the same things he's doing. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. So listen, I know that this may sound crazy, but the reality is this. There's a lot of great men out there. Now I know, don't roll your eyes, don't make faces at the camera or the TV.